another living room chat with your favorite host, George O'Connell, the prettiest face in Kings of War. Now, I'm going to try something a little different with this video. This is August 1st. We're basically halfway through the tournament season. There's still a lot of Kings of War to be played, but I want to talk about who could be a threat to the South region. And I'm going to cover 4 different regions. 3 regions that I really don't have enough knowledge on because I haven't traveled out there. That's the West Coast, the Mountain region, and the Pacific Northwest. I really don't have enough information. I know last year they all struggled with having full teams, and they had a lot of players that were other regions players that did well but didn't qualify for the Masters team play for them. I'm hoping this year they all can travel well. We might even be out there in Seattle, so who knows. All the regions, though, will be chasing the South region. Last year they won the championship, hands down. They kicked some serious butt all the way through the tournament. My hat goes off to them. Luckily for me, I've been hitting different regions, and like in the Mid-Atlantic, one event, we saw a lot of Northeast gamers come down. This week I'm traveling to a Northeast event, so I'm starting to get a lot more information. I hit quite a few events from last year in the Southeast. I have a good idea what they're going to do. Same thing with the Midwest. I was very lucky that a lot of the Illinois players would come down to Southeast events. And I also understand, I have a good understanding of the Ohio gamers, which I'm very, very impressed with at the last tournament. Just because their lists are very off the wall. And when they start matching up against some of the most popular builds that are being played by other people, I think they're going to match up really favorably, and I think they're going to really do well. So first I'm going to talk about the current champions, the #1 region we're all trying to catch. That's the Evil South region, led by Patrick Allen, but they got just a stud roll of gamers. And really the funny thing about them is their regular tournaments are more for fun. It's not basically set on 2000 tournament point rules that we used last year for the US Masters. So for them to then turn to that next gear was very impressive. I'm hoping that, because this region is really strong, and they traveled well too at the US Masters last year, so I think they're going to travel well again because some of the players that didn't even make their team ended up finishing really well. So you got to give your hats off. They just really kicked some serious butt. Led by the US Master champion himself, Patrick Allen. Zorro, fantastic player, really good. It's going to be interesting to see if he still runs his undead like he did at last year's US Masters, or if he's going to go with a different gear. I think he's going to run the exact same list, pretty much along the lines. He's going to go with what he knows best. But there's some lists now that I think can really give that a challenge now. Like Sean Williams runs the same list down in the South, but I think that's going to be very interesting. You got Jeff Swan, you got Robbie King, you got Aaron Chapman, who might be right now the hottest gamer in the South. So I think Aaron's got his sights set on having a big season. That's without adding Tyler Serpico, Ricky Ho, David Bowman, Ryan Smith, Jody Stubblefield, Mark Cox. Once again, this region is really fat. They're the heavy favorites to win. Now, what I'm hoping though, that these guys haven't been traveling to the other regions and are in the mindset that we're #1, everyone else has got to catch us, and maybe becoming like a little bit like the fat cat. Because then it would give a chance for the other regions to slide in there and steal this year's US Masters. We don't even know what their full team's going to be at this point. Nobody knows for any region, so I'm just going off of the information that I already have. But I think they're going to be a fantastic, they're going to be the #1 seed, they're going to be super hard to beat, and for good reason, because they deserve it. So now I'm going to go about the other regions, the 4 regions that I think they can turn around and make a run for the #1. I'm going to talk about the Southeast, I'm going to talk about the Midwest, I'm going to talk about the Northeast, and of course the Mid-Atlantic. I think last year it was Southeast #2, Mid-Atlantic #3, and Midwest #4, and I think Northeast was 5. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how these guys come forward. The first region I'm going to talk about is the Northeast. Luckily for me, at the Mountaineer, I got to see a lot of these guys and got an understanding what some of these people are going to be playing. I'm also hitting a tournament this week called the Keystone. It's going to be a great event. There's over 30-something gamers, might even hit 40. Really looking forward to that event. They're led by their top two players are really strong. Ray Went, I hope I didn't pronounce your last name. By the way, if I butcher anybody's last name, it wasn't done on purpose. Sorry, it's, me messing it up. But from what I understand, Ray's a really strong player. I think he did really well last year at the U.S. Masters. And they got another guy by the name of Keith Fox, this guy's runs. Put it this way: if you look at the Jeff Shilligan's list in the Midwest and Aaron Chapman's down in the South, they run a Behringer with Abyssal Allies that are super fast. Well, he does the exact same thing with Abyssal Dwarfs with Abyssals. He does some pretty cool things with his army, and I think he's going to be just such a tough nut to crack. It's very much like the others list with the speed, but he's got a lot of vicious thrown into his list. He's going to be really tough. Now, I don't know if he's going to make the U.S. Masters, if he's going to go. I hope he does, because the guy's a really good gamer. I'm really looking forward to meeting up with him again this week. As I said, this guy's going to be a threat no matter what he does. I know he won the Unplugged GT, and I know he's had some good finishes in other ways. So watch out for Keith Fox. Now, the question to me is, they're going to be really strong with their 1-2. The next group of the groups, and they got a bunch of good players. I just wonder who's going to step up and be their third, their fourth, and their fifth, and really step up. But some of the names they got in their region are Mike Rossi, who's a really good guy, John Venice, who's a really strong player, Corey Weltzer, who's really good, Greg Pearsons. You got, it's just one guy after another. Kevin Spears pretty good, Peyton Shipman's really good. So I think they're going to strong, if they can get their whole region to travel, can they pull off and beat the South? It's possible. And I'll give you another name that I don't know if they can get back into the tournament scene, but he's a really good war gamer, in Corey Reynolds. If they can get him on there, that could be another top dog for him, because I think Corey would do really well at this game. I know whenever he plays in a Kings of War event, he does pretty well. So I don't know if you'll see that. I know they have a couple of big events left. I know they got another Unplugged GT, and they have the Crossroads. You might even see me make another jaunt up to there just to see what these guys are doing. Good gamers. I really like their chance. On the bad side, why do I think they might not? I'm not sure how they're going to travel. I don't know if it goes to Seattle or the Midwest, how they're going to travel. But they have potentially a chance to be a very strong team. I was very impressed with the Northeast gamers that came down to the Mountaineer, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they travel. It's going to be very interesting. I give them a good shot at it. Maybe they can pop all the way up there and really make a run at this year's Masters. All right, I'm going to now talk about a region that I'm super high on. And I haven't hit any of their tournaments, but luckily for me, I don't know what the Minnesota gamers are really doing, except for when I see, I met someone at the U.S. Masters. I thought they were very good. Don't get me wrong. I didn't get enough games against them. But I know how the Illinois gamers are, and I know how the Ohio gamers are. So I think last year at the Midwest, they didn't have any Ohio games. Well, this year I think it's going to be different. And I think those Ohio gamers are really going to turn this region strong. If I had to bet right now going into it, I would sit there and say I think this region is going to give the run to the South. And they might even be able to beat them because they got some very unorthodox lists. So it's going to be who's going to make their team. And if the tournament's right there in Chicago, wow, they're going to be there in full force, and watch out, because I think they're going to do really good. Congrats to Jeff for ending up winning Lady of the Lake. I heard the list that he ran. I know it's pretty much a runoff of Aaron Chapman's, but maybe he runs it even better than Aaron. So, but it's going to be interesting to see how that list goes at the U.S. Masters, especially when people start playing against it. Chris Kastner, fantastic player. I believe he finished top 10 in Battle and Paragon last year. Only a few of us did that last year. Shannon Shoemaker, stud. Really like Shannon. Shannon's a good guy. Tara Brown's going to be a strong player. John Carter's going to be there. I mean, Eric Trowbridge, who won Adapticon. He's an Ohio gamer. I'm telling you, he's a stud on the table. Really looking forward to seeing Swords of King, because I think it's going to, a lot of these Ohio guys are going to come down and play the Southeast, and I think Southeast is going to be blown away by it. They're going to be like in shock. They're going to be like, what just hit us? Because because their armies match up so well against the Southeast, and I think it's going to be a head turner at that event. You got Andrew Summers also in that region. You got Kyle Poole. Watch out, people. Kyle Poole. Steve Malone's a strong player. Now he runs a list more like the Jeff list, and of course Aaron Chapman's list. It's very fast, hits you. You know, it's along that line. So we'll see what happens. And I'll throw a shout out to Matt Schaefer. I know that he's a real good player. I know that he's challenging for a spot. It's going to be very interesting. I think they're going to be able to field a very strong team. And I think from some of the regions, I think they're going to carry over players over to that region and do really well. I'm going to talk about the Southeast real quick. Southeast is really a strong region from top to bottom. I don't know how many of these guys are switching their lists around, and I think that's going to be a little bit of a difference coming up. But it's a strong region, and they're going to travel well too, so they're going to do very well. Can they get over the hump this year? They did lose one of their players in the top 10 region because I went to the Mid-Atlantic. I moved to North Carolina, and so it will be interesting there. But still, the team is going to be very strong. Sean Williams, Robert Brandon, Jeff O'Neill, Tim Smith, Keith Randall, Nate Clevenger, Todd Perkins, Brian Tucker. It's going to be a very strong region. But here's the problem I think I see with the Southeast. Why they might have trouble this year, they really now have a lot of players that travel to the other regions. And as I said, I think when those Ohio guys come in on there, it's going to open some eyes. Now, the Southeast is going to do one or two things at that point. Because I think 3 of the Ohio guys might finish in the top 5, top 6. They're either going to say, okay, we have to adapt and change, or they're just going to be, well, this was a fluke. But I'm telling you, I think they're going to be in for a surprise at Sword to the King, because those Ohio guys, I think, match up so well. So when they play them, I think it's going to be a head turner. Then the final region I'm going to talk about is the Mid-Atlantic. Mid-Atlantic took 3rd. They're adding me into the region. I guess that could be a good thing or a bad thing. We'll find out. Hopefully, I give them another strong player that can be top heavy. But the region's going to have to be carried probably by Alex Chavez. Alex is a strong player, and they're going to need another Superman effort from Mike Austin. So Mike Austin did really good last year at the U.S. Masters. I think he tied for 3rd in battle points. They're going to, or 3rd or 4th in battle points. We're going to need another big effort from him. The rest of the team's going to be pretty solid, but it's going to be a lot like the Northeast. Who can step up? Can Jesse Cornwell? Can Jake Hutton? Can Tony Nelson? Bill Goodrich? Joey Grieg? Mike Atkins? Who's going to round up that team, and how are they going to proceed into the future? I see I'm at like 13 minutes on this video. I probably went a little bit longer than I wanted, but I wanted to give us a shout out there, sitting there saying, okay, we're at the halfway point. What is the U.S. Masters going to look like? And I'm looking forward to seeing other people's feedback, what they think the regions are going to be like, and how close that is. I think this year's Masters is going to be totally different than last year's. Does that mean people are going to be able to catch the South and pass them? I doubt it. But I think what worked last year at the U.S. Masters is not going to work this year at the U.S. Masters. I think you're going to see a lot of lists that are different that is going to come up to the top. So we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching the video. Good luck to y'all, and have a great day. George O'Connell signing off, and another Living Room Chat.